What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another week of Fitness for Gamers. And this week we're going to keep working on posture correction by targeting our core. Now I know what you're thinking, sit-ups. No. What I'm going to show you are different exercises because everybody knows sit-ups and everybody knows push-ups and everybody does them. And we'll get to those eventually, but for right now, I'm going to show you a wider variety of my favorite core exercises. So without further ado, let's get into it.
The first exercise is the plank. Most people have heard of this one before, and I'm going to show you two variations. The first variation is called the easy plank because, well, it's easier. Put your palms on the ground, shoulder width apart, with your legs together behind you. Flatten the back of your body to resemble a plank, and hold this position. Incidentally, this is also known as push-up position. Try not to keep your elbows locked, as that will put unnecessary stress on the joints, but you only need a slight bend. In order for this exercise to really work, think about tucking your hips up to your chest by activating your abs. Really squeeze with all you've got. You can see the difference in the line of my back here when I've got my hips tucked in and when they're not really engaged. The second variation of the plank is the forearm plank. This one is a bit harder because you're lower to the ground and the angle is smaller. Go down to your forearms, keeping your elbows under your shoulders. You can do whatever we want with your hands, really, but I warn you, try to keep your elbows from sliding or you may end up with carpet burn. That said, if you want either of these exercises to be harder, move your hands or forearms forward, not to the side, away from your head a little bit at a time. The next exercise is a bit harder. It's called the bicycle crunch. Start by lying down on your back with your legs and elbows up, like this, with hands beside your head. Do not put your hands on your head or behind it, as you can accidentally injure your neck. I like to touch my hands to my temples gently, just to make sure I keep them stable. From here, pull one shoulder toward the opposite hip and use your knee to try and drive your hip up toward your shoulder like this. Then, do the opposite side. As in all things, speed isn't nearly as important as form, and the better your form, the more challenging these will be. Good form should have your hips engaged the entire time and your shoulders completely off the ground at all times as well. This exercise will build not just your core, but your obliques here on the sides for increased stability. Our next exercise you may find easier or harder depending on the person. It's called the dead bug. Lay on your back with your forearms and legs over your head fully extended as best you can. Like the bicycle crunch, we're going to be working opposite sides here. Take your left leg down to a few inches above the ground at the same time as your right arm, then pull them back up. This one is more about steady tension than any kind of explosive movement. Try to stay in control the whole time. Alternate sides. Okay, our last exercise is a bit advanced, but maybe you can work up to it. While there are a ton of good core exercises out there, lemon squeezes are one of my favorite and always have been. Fortunately, it also has an easier version, so we'll do that one first. Sit down with your legs out in front of you and your arms just behind and to the side of your butt, like so. With your knees bent, lift your feet a few inches off the ground. Now remember, your arms are just here for balance. Try not to push off them as you do this exercise. Lean back a bit and then powerfully squeeze your whole body together, bringing knees to chest. The harder version, you take your arms out to the sides for balance and squeeze them in as well. It puts more constant strain on your core while adding in this really explosive motion for maximum burn. And there you have it. Those are our core exercises. Now, how do we work this into our routine? Well, for back workouts, I like doing during the games we play so that we don't slouch in our chairs, but core exercises are going to pull you forward over your keyboard or gamepad. That's why I recommend doing these before and after your sessions, before or after your warm-up, and before or after your cooldown or last game are both good, so long as you're mixing in those back exercises during the session. Do what you can. With only 2 workouts per game session, one before and one after, you can push yourself a bit in each of them, especially that post-session workout. Alright everyone, that's all for today. Thank you for watching and we hope to see you next time on Fitness for Gamers.